Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you are doing well. So I'm doing some new videos on questions that you guys asked me about the process of learning maqamat. So recently, 2 days ago, I sent out an email to my list trying to get questions that you guys have about learning maqamat. So a question that Brother Muhammad asked me. So the question he said is, he wants to know, is there a specific maqam or a specific style of reading that he should adhere to based on his voice, right? So for example, this maqam would match my voice, and I should learn this maqam based on the depth of my voice or the type of pitch I have. That's his question. Okay, so I want to go over that because it's a question that I've seen a lot of you have. And it shows up in two ways. One is as a question, and the second way it shows up is kind of as an excuse, right? As a kind of like, not an excuse, that's not the right word. More like a barrier to getting started, right? So someone says, hey, I'd like to learn maqamat, but you're teaching a course on maqam hijaz, but I think my voice is better for maqam bayati. Or I have a course on maqam nahawand, and the person's thinking, you know what, I feel like my voice is more like I should be reading in maqam rast, right? So I want to address that. So the first thing, the short answer. Oh, by the way, assalamu alaikum to everyone that's here. I'm doing this on my phone, and I see the comments as you guys post them, but then they disappear. So assalamu alaikum to all of you who have joined us so far. And so the short answer is that there's no such thing. Okay, there's no such thing as this certain maqam suits this person's voice. So like somebody has a deep voice, and okay, then therefore they should read in this maqam. Or a person has a higher pitched voice, therefore they should read in this other maqam. Okay? Now, that's the short answer. Now, the long answer is the reason for that. The reason for that is because the way maqamat work, they're just tune patterns, right? And they can be applied regardless of the voice that you have. Wa alaikum assalam, Rizwana. Thanks for joining us. So it my brain gets thrown off when I see the comments. So the short answer is that no, there's no specific maqam that matches a certain person's type of voice. So okay, my voice is deep, therefore I need to start by learning this maqam. Okay, because the way the maqamat work is that it's just a tune pattern, and it can be applied regardless of the type of voice that you have, right? So here's an example. For example, suppose someone has suppose we're talking about maqam hijaz, right? Somebody has a really deep voice. Oh, this is how they talk all the time, right? This is their voice, and they speak like this. This is their natural voice, so to speak, right? Now, if they have to read it in that maqam, they can still learn the pattern and apply it to that range that they have accessible to them, right? That level of voice that they have. So like, they're talking like this, then they could read, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Of course, they'd have to learn that pattern, but you see that the maqam doesn't say, no, your voice is too low, and it's just not going to work between us, right? Now, if somebody has a higher voice, right? If their natural speaking voice, think of someone like the way Sheikh Sudais recites, for example. Like, his voice naturally is very different than like my voice, right? If somebody has a voice, if they speak like this and this is their normal voice, then they can apply the same pattern, right? So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And it's a little awkward for me because that's not how my voice is, right? But just to demonstrate. Now, again, if somebody has, sometimes a question comes up about different, you could say vocal issues that somebody has. Suppose somebody has a scratchy voice, or somebody has a nasal voice, right? Then still the maqam isn't concerned with the quality of your voice per se. Now, if somebody has vocal issues, that's a different question that might prevent them from, say, getting like a full access to the full scale of a maqam. But that's a separate issue, right? So the question, to go back to the question, was, if I'm getting started, is there a certain maqam that suits my type of voice? The answer to that is no. Now, to put a little twist on that, there is such a thing as you naturally having an inclination to a certain maqam or another, right? And that comes largely, but that doesn't have to do with the quality of your voice. That has to do with your familiarity with certain types of sounds. Okay, so maybe you grew up listening to Sheikh Sudais, like since you were a child, like your parents put Sheikh Sudais for you, Sheikh Sudais and Shuraim. You have the cassettes, Sheikh Sudais Shuraim, or the CDs. I'm dating myself there with the cassettes. We used to have cassettes, and then CDs, yeah. But suppose you listen to Sheikh Sudais and Sheikh Shuraim all the time, then you might find now you want to learn a maqam, and hey, what do you know? Like maqam rust seems to just be easier for you, right? Because you have that familiarity already built in, right? And even if you don't have someone, someone's a new Muslim, they or somebody didn't grow up listening to recitations, or that wasn't like a thing for them, you might still find that some maqamat just seem a little bit easier for you to get started with, and some others are a little bit harder for you to get started with. And that has more to do with familiarity with the pattern and so on. So, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, your brother Hassan. So that's that. That's the answer to that question. Now, how do you know? So if we say, okay, certain, you might have an inclination to one maqam or another. How do you know? The answer to that is, it's not a theoretical type of question, right? It's something that you will discover by getting started. So the answer is, you get started, right? It's kind of, when I think of maqamat, I think a lot about different sports analogies, because or anything involving like a skill. If you think of a sport, I'm from Canada. I'm into hockey, right? I don't know. I know that's not like a international type of sport, but basically, like, many sports you might have some players that they play offense and some play defense, right? Now, if somebody says and they haven't played before, if somebody says how do I know, should I be an a forward or a defenseman, right? It's kind of a strange question, especially if the person doesn't know how to stick handle, the person doesn't know how to skate. So if the person doesn't have these fundamentals, they're not really going to know, am I better suited to be a forward or a defense, right? You kind of have to get started, and that's part of the discovery that comes with, getting started and trying something, right? You start, think of any skill. You start cooking, for example, right? Certain things that you'll be good at cooking, others you might just prefer you order out or something, just buy it because you're not that good at that style of cooking, right? So that's that. I don't know if you have any other questions, you can let me know, and if it's something quick, maybe I can address it now. Otherwise, leave it for other videos. The other thing is that recently, like 2 days ago or yesterday, we hit 20,000 subscribers on this channel, and honestly, I'm not I just happened to I kind of left this channel for a while, right? If you see my videos, you'll see they're like batches from maybe a few years ago, so I happened to come back on a little while ago, and I noticed we were at 19,800. So then I was like, hey, it's close to 20,000. But anyways, I'm not too concerned with that. But the one thing is that, behind those numbers are individuals like yourselves, that you're watching my videos, you're subscribing, you're commenting, you're sharing, stuff like that, and supporting with those, those little online actions, and then with your du'as as well. So I appreciate that, and jazakumullah khairan to you all for your support. And if you're not subscribed, do subscribe. There's probably a icon somewhere, and I'm gonna try to do more of these Q&As. Jazakumullah khairan, Huzaifa. Jazakumullah khairan. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, cool. The way it's showing up on my phone, I only see one comment at a time. So if you posted a question even 10, 20 seconds ago, I'm not seeing it right now. So wait 1 second. I am new to this YouTube live thingy. Okay, you know what? I guess afterwards I'll see the comments, and if you're on my email list, you would have gotten this email 2 days ago with a form, that you can just submit some questions, and I'll try to go back to that. That'll be my main reference. I'll try to go back to that and highlight questions that I think will be beneficial for everyone, because for a long time I used to reply to everyone's emails one-on-one, and it's so hard. Like honestly, I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's hard to reply, one-on-one, and sometimes similar questions coming over and over again. And then the emails start piling up, and I start missing important emails in there, and so on. So if you are on my email list, then you would have gotten that Q&A form like 2 days ago. You could just submit questions there, and I'll keep updating, and I'll mark off, okay, what I've done and what I haven't done, and try to address them. And yeah, that's all for now. I'll let me see. Someone. Oh yeah. Okay, I can scroll up. Let me do that. Wa alaikum assalam. Ishaq, who's here, has done maqamat with me in my coaching program. Ishaq, if you're still here, assalamu alaikum. Okay, your brother Hassan. Yeah, some people are asking about kind of issues around maqamat and permissibility of maqamat. This is something that I've looked into at great length, because obviously, like, I don't want to be doing something that's questionable, and I have a lot of thoughts on this. One of the big reasons maybe I will do something on it. One of the reasons I have shied away from kind of talking about this is because online, I mean, I don't know what's the deal with people online, but there's a lot of argumentation, a lot of kind of you guys know how it is online. So I just kind of like stayed away from that a little bit, but it's something that I do talk about a lot with my students, because it's something that I want them to think about, like, what's okay and what's not okay, how much is too much, and these sorts of questions. So inshallah, I'll maybe I will share some thoughts on that. My own teacher, Sheikh Uthman, had advised me or suggested that I do that, but I've shied away from it for that reason. I just don't want to create controversy, so to speak. Sister Rizwana, in what maqam does Sheikh Al-Afasi recite? Various. He's a master of maqamat. He recites in different maqamat. A lot of reciters do, right? A lot of reciters. There are some reciters like Sheikh Sudais, for example. He's always reciting the same way. You open pretty much anywhere, it's the same tune. But a lot of reciters vary from while they're reading. Huzaifa, Huzaifa's asking, with learning maqamat, what's the first step? Okay, maybe I'll get to that in a separate video, because that's like a whole thing unto itself. How does one go about learning maqamat? Sister Rizwana, again, maqam of Sheikh Afasi, same thing, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jazakumullah khairan to you all. And I guess you can post questions in the comments even after this video is no longer live, and I'll try to take a look at it there. But as much as possible, I'm going to try to do videos and like posts and stuff like that can benefit everyone, rather than like replying one-on-one, because it does get a little difficult for me to manage. So yeah, keep me in your du'as. If you benefited from this, then please keep me in your du'as, and do subscribe and share and keep all that going as well. Barakallahu feekum. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I'm totally new to this thing. I do not know how to end this thing. Let me see. There we go. Okay, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.